Last 4 days, jurors pored over the evidence in the case. They spoke after the verdict today and say there was never any dissension. The 12 strangers were focused on reaching what they say was the right verdict. Jeff Kulikowski has more on how the jury reached that decision.
And now I speak to you for
As family and friends waited anxiously for a verdict, jurors were methodically breaking down the case.
We had the room covered in, as we called it, our war room. And we sat there and looked at every single piece of evidence.
Maybe the most key piece of physical evidence was the note found in Ashley Wallace's room the morning of her overdose.
What was written in it was important, but you still wanted to know who had the opportunity to write it, and either Ashley or Stacey.
Piece by piece, jurors built a timeline with all the evidence and found in the end, only Stacey Castor had the opportunity to write that note.
Why did she put herself through?
Even a strong close by the defense wasn't enough to change their mind.
His closing was very all-inclusive and was an extreme good capture of everything that happened for the 3.5 weeks. But once you really examined all the evidence and everything that we had in the timelines, it just did not support it.
And Stacey Castor did nothing in the jury's eyes to help convince them she wasn't the killer.
Some of the things that she said were believable, but the biggest things weren't.
Just by the way she acted, a mother's instinct. Being a mother myself, I didn't think that she seemed that all upset about what was happening to her daughter.
Which makes everybody ask the question, Stacey Castor didn't have to take the stand. The decision to put her on the stand, whether it was hers or her lawyer's, did her testimony hurt her?
I think it certainly did from everything we heard from the jurors. And from what I understand, it was really Stacey who wanted to testify. I'm sure obviously her lawyers could have asked her not to, but she really wanted to get up there. And as you heard some of those jurors say, they didn't believe her, not only when she was on the stand, but also in her body language when she was in court as well. Now, there were more than a couple of mothers in that jury box through
10
that
women,
entire
so some
trial.
of them had to be mothers.
Yeah, there were more than a few that raised their hands when we asked them, and I think that played into it. Again, reading her body language, they said that's just not the way a mother would act.
And there was not much emotion at all.
I don't think there was any emotion at all from her.
All right, Jeff Kulikowski, thank you.